Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
Welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm Ahmad Akhtar alongside Ryan Huang. Now, since 1984, this Singapore institution, we can call it, has been the heart and soul of countless memories. It rhymes with lingo and bingo. What am I talking about, Ryan?
We are talking about Uncle Ringo.
That's correct.
I think that's a familiar name with many folks, and me as well. Growing up, I remember many rides I've taken, and it's a place where countless memories are formed. And you think about it, it's quite an iconic carnival operator. You know, they travel across the island. They in many projects as well, and this is a story about how a family business, there is a bit of a balance being struck, the legacy behind it, and also fresh ideas to keep them relevant in a very modern backdrop in Singapore.
That's absolutely right. And to that point, we're excited to welcome Joyce Lee, the director of the iconic carnival operator, who's been part of this journey. Joyce, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Imad. Happy to be on your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Now, Uncle Ringo is a name that many Singaporeans grew up with. It's been a household name since 1984, organizing countless carnivals, fun fairs, theme parties, product launches, and the list goes on and on, even fundraising charities as well. From a personal standpoint, what does the carnival mean to you, both as a daughter and now as a business leader?
Okay, so a little background of the family. So it's like when I was born, my dad, I think fondly known as Ringo, realized that there wasn't much entertainment for children back then, and that's how he started the company. So obviously, my whole childhood was about carnival rides, games, and I grew up in the amusement because the weekends are when his carnivals are the most busy, right? And he had to work. And the only way to spend time together was for my mom and I to join him at his workplace.
Wow, you must have had quite a fun childhood being in a carnival.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I brought along my cousins and my friends because there's no fun playing alone, right? So the core of Uncle Ringo really is about spending time together, family bonding, and that is what I remember about my childhood and playing, of course, with my closer ones, right? So that was what it was like growing up. And then after university, I went out to work. And then one day my dad was like, hey, you know, it's getting really busy here. Have you thought about, you know, what you want to do? And I was like, okay, so you set this company up because of me, not for me, but because of me, right? Because he was like, there was not much choices for entertainment with children. And then at that time, I didn't have kids myself. I couldn't really see it, but I came from a risk consultancy company. Then I said, but I think I do have some skill sets that may be relevant to your business. Okay. And at the same time, the amusement rights were going through some kind of changes, the landscape, they were being regulated. So I said, okay, that is one area that I can help out in. And so I joined the company, and that was a good 14 to 15 years ago in 2011. And along the way, in the past 15 years, I got married. I had my own kids now. I can understand why my dad started the company back then and how much fun being in this industry helps when I'm parenting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So quite a journey so far. What is it like, you know, joining the business? Was it always part of the plan for you to step into the family business, so to speak? And what is it like when you first entered it? Because I imagine there's going to be old ideas, new ideas from you yourself.
No, it was my dad had never ever, put it on me that I had to help out or work with him. But when I was schooling, I was always helping out on like a part-time basis, like when he didn't have enough staff, we'll step in as a cashier, as someone operating the game stall. So that is what I did when I was in school. He always left it up to me to pursue my own interests.
Yeah, I was doing some research and I saw the contents of an interview that you did with the Peak magazine, and it said that you had to earn your stripes just like everyone else. Just because you were the daughter of Mr. Ringo didn't earn you automatically a key executive position in the company. You said, when I joined the business, my dad was adamant that I start from the bottom up. I've been through every file and rank there is in the business, starting at ticketing, ride maintenance, on-site ops, accounts and finance and business development. Tell us about that journey.
Okay, and it was not something that I was told to do. It was something that I wanted to do because there's no way you can operate a company without knowing every little step, right? So I started off selling tickets, and this was a long time ago. So, cash was the only mode of transaction then. And it may seem like a very simple task, like, when you buy something from the shop. But what you don't know is at the end of the day, the work that the cashier needs to do when it comes to reconciliation and all that. So I learned a lot in that process. And at that time, I think I was only 17, 17 or 18. So it was a very big responsibility for a student then. And of course, our main assets are our rides and games. I had to learn how to operate the rides as well. So that was at the start, and the safety aspects of it. And subsequently, when I was in the business full-time, I looked into how my maintenance team did the maintenance of the rides as well.
Okay. Let's talk about the size of the business right now. Where are we in terms of the number of employees, how big it is, and how much it's grown over the years? I imagine it's been quite a journey in the sense that kids these days grow up on different things. It's not like in the past where they didn't have that many options. Now you've got iPads, you've got Netflix, you've got TV. Where are we when it comes to Uncle Ringo in this conversation?
So most definitely. So 40 years ago when my dad started, it was literally a one-man show. I mean, he probably had like one or two technicians. So today we are on a core team of about 22 full-time employees, but the operations is supported by a very large team of what we call ad hoc part-time staff, but they are permanent part-time staff. Not sure if that makes sense. So every time we have an event, we get their support. So that is a very large team. Compared to, say, 10 years ago, definitely our population has grown as well. So we need a larger team to service this increased population. We are looking at more carnivals, more pop-ups. When you go around the malls, if you live in the residential estate, I'm sure you see these as well. Yeah.
So your team has grown, but costs have also risen. We're living in a pretty difficult environment. So running a carnival business in this kind of setting in a place like Singapore isn't very easy. You talked about it being a highly regulated industry. On top of that, specialized permits are required, and the volatile nature of the entertainment industry as well makes it difficult to navigate this market. What are some of the biggest operational and market challenges you've had to confront recently?
Okay, so as you know, we were operating very much on a cash basis, and then COVID came along, and we were going into this whole contactless payment. So that is when we truly looked into cashless and contactless payment options. One thing is definitely for transparency, because being in collecting cash opens the business up to the susceptibility of pilferages.
Leakage.
Yes, right? I'm sure that is quite common across all. And then there are different modes of payments, which I've mentioned before. At the end of the day, the consolidation which the cashier as well as my back-end office staff has to do. Yeah, so that's when I started to explore payment systems that can help improve our business efficiency.
Okay, so what do you have right now when you talk about digitizing the payment platforms? So is it QR codes, in terms of terminals? What is that blueprint like in terms of changing that infrastructure?
So one thing that helped us a lot is since we adopted the NETS iPOS integrated POS system 1.5 years ago. So it basically is a POS machine that has several functions that we make use of. There is the HR function, then there is the mode of payment function, all very useful to our business.
And in terms of data, what does it tell you that might provide business insights that you can work with?
Okay, so let me take it a step back. So previously, before we adopted this NETS iPOS, we were selling paper tickets and RFID cards. Okay, so these are systems that I couldn't track easily other than, counting the physical coupons per ride. But with this new system, I am able to see, say, for example, Pirate Ship, how many tickets I sold today, and Bumper Car, how many tickets, and Toss Ring. So how this translates to information that the business can use is my rides. We are on a maintenance schedule, right? So I know that, after X hours or X cycles of use, there is a maintenance step that needs to be done, right? It's not just a POS machine where we use it to transact, but the data helps us with our maintenance schedule.
And I suppose this information also helps you decide where to establish pop-ups. We've seen Uncle Ringo pop up at Christmas Wonderland, at iLight, even some locations overseas. What drives those pop-ups and how do you choose where to go? And perhaps do you have anything lined up for National Day?
Okay. Yeah. So with the data that we have, with the help of the iPOS machine, I can see which are the rides that are more popular. Not only that, I can compare the popularity of the rides across different event sites. And that helps us make the decision of whether we go back to the same location again. So that is one. Or the other assessment that we make is throughout the year, which are the months that, we can set aside for just purely maintenance of the rides, and which are the months that we will see higher footfall.
Yeah, Joyce, that's why I'm curious. Uncle Ringo has been around for nearly 40 years. What is in demand? Has it changed over the years? Do folks still like the same things? Or do kids these days like more screens, the digital displays and Labubu prizes? What do they like these days?
Okay, so I think it's quite evident that kids these days they spend a lot of time on the screen, so much so that we have a Grow Well SG initiative that actually has to give guidelines on how much time children should be spending on screen, and that is what Uncle Ringo is about. Because even 20 to 30 years ago, while we did not have handheld devices, we were watching TV. That was also screen time, right? And Uncle Ringo was around then because we saw that, yes, you spend time on screen entertainment, but the family needs to go out for fresh air. They need to spend time together because usually when you watch TV, it is a very independent activity where the child watches alone, TV nanny, right? So going out, because you won't expect a 5-year-old to go out himself or herself, right? So the parents will bring their child out, and when they are out, they will have to do certain things together. Say, for example, like the pirate ship, we have a lot of what we call family rides, and these rides are rides that accommodate both children and adults, so they can sit together. Like the teacup, very puke-inducing.
Yes, I have puked in the past on teacups, not in Singapore though.
and the carousel. So that's what drives us to want to hold carnivals, because it really is so heartwarming when we see parents going on the ride, spending time with their children. And it's not just, parents, grandparents, they can go on as well. The carousel, right? Not very scary. Most grandparents can go on that. Yeah.
Yeah, is that what you think makes the Uncle Ringo experience different from high-tech theme parks or modern arcade zones, which are also becoming increasingly popular as well?
Okay, so for the other options, I believe in variety when it comes to family entertainment. So it's not that, parents will choose, I only go to the arcade, I only go to a high-tech theme park, or I only go to a night market carnival. They usually will want to offer their children a variety of experience. And then it also comes with affordability as well. What is something that you can go as a treat once a year, or something that you can go a little more often?
So it's like a horses for courses kind of situation.
Yeah, and so that's where I see, Uncle Ringo come, because our carnivals are usually free entrance. You only pay when you want to play a game or a ride. Yeah. Final question. We're almost out of time, so it's got to be a quick answer. As someone leading a generational business through innovation, what advice would you give other family businesses trying to modernize? Number one is definitely communication. So I've had certain disagreement when we want to implement a new technology, but my dad usually is the one who is a bit more forward thinking, the one coming up with all these ideas. But definitely communication.
All right. Pearls of wisdom from Joyce Lee, the director of Uncle Ringo, which has been a true Singaporean institution since 1984. Joyce, thanks so much for your time and insights this morning.
Thank you.
All right, you're listening to Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.